Okay, so the final lesson in the dot, the line, and the three basic shapes is a lesson on the basic shapes. And from there, you're going to have your performance assessment, which is kind of like your end of the unit quiz, and that's going to be for you to design your own logo. Now, in the beginning of the term, your team came up with a logo for your team, and that's fantastic. And you could go ahead and each of you, as a separate extra credit project, can come up with the design for that logo, and you can't share a document in Illustrator, so you're going to each have to do it on your own. However, the priority here is for you to come up with your own personal logo. And let's take a look at some of the things or some of the logos that people have come up with and designers have designed in Photoshop. Not Photoshop, I'm sorry, but Illustrator. And this cute monkey logo from My Shiny Monkey by a business person named Ron Romaine. He actually came up with this for his own company, and prior to actually settling on this particular design for the monkey, he did about 100 different sketches. And so there's something to be said for you to carry your own sketchbook around with you and start jotting down your ideas as soon as you come up with them. So here's a cute t-shirt with his design on it. Here's another super cute design, and let's take a look at the shapes here. We have ellipses for the eyes, okay? We have two ellipses that got joined together with the Pathfinder tool. The head is a circle and an ellipse joined together. Modified triangles for ears. Modified rectangle. Cool line work for the shoes. Maybe some modified shapes, maybe some pen curve tool. And then if you look down here, they did such a great job with all the band instruments, the drumming instruments, the cymbals, super cute. And guitarist, bass guitar and lead guitar, and the microphones, music notes. So some advanced looking compositions here, just using your basic tool shapes and your Pathfinder tool in Illustrator, and that's what we're going to learn today. Before we do that, let's go over to Paul Frank. How many of you know who Paul Frank is? He's a very successful designer. And he has his clothing in stores nationwide, and he has his own Paul Frank store on Sutter Street in San Francisco. And his images, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if My Shiny Monkey wasn't highly influenced by this. However, the two monkeys look, and they're different enough that this particular artist would not get sued. If you look at this one and this one, they're different enough from Paul Frank's monkey to stand on their own and not have any copyright images. So here's some Paul Frank artwork, and they're really cute. Really cute stuff. Look at this one. Look how cute this is. Oh my gosh. This stuff is so cute. These are wall decals. So once you come up, look at this, is so cute. Once you come up with something, you can do all kinds of things with it. You can make buttons out of it. Once it becomes your own art that you have created and you have designed it, and you can prove that it's your own design, then you can sell that design. You can make decals out of it. You can go ahead and put up on your website and make buttons out of it. You can sell buttons off your website. You can do all kinds of things to earn passive income. That means you can put that up on your website and sell those, and maybe you'll make $50 a day, maybe you'll make $25 a day, maybe you'll make more. You just don't know. You also have to protect yourself because you don't want people stealing your artwork. Oh, look at this. It's really cute. Oh, phone cover. Oh my gosh. All right, let's get started making your own basic shapes in Illustrator. Let's close out of this. And so we're in Illustrator. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go File, New. Alt-N also should bring up a new file on the PC keyboard. It's Command-N on the Mac. And you're going to go up to name your your new document, your basic shapes, underscore your first name, and then you're going to underscore, or you're going to write 10, or it's not 10 anymore, it's 11. Well, for me, the date is 11/1, but by the time you do this, it'll probably be 11/3, after we get done with the in-class lesson. For profile, you want to print, okay? And most of the times, your artboard is going to default to points, and you want to make sure that you're using inches. And when you go to inches, it should be 8.5 by 11 inches, and that's just fine. And you're going to go, okay. And you should bring up your artboard. There it is. Okay, we're going to make 3 basic shapes. The first thing I want you to do is open up your swatches palette. I want you to make your stroke none, and pick any fill you like for your color. I'm going to pick red. And go up to your shapes tool. So I don't want to move too fast. And the great news about this, we're going to draw all our shapes on the same layer, so we're not going to have too many layers with this project. So yay for that. You're going to have several different beginning projects. You're going to have this one. You're going to have one with typography, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to design your logo. So there's actually another one after this one, and it's going to talk to you about type and lettering. So let's go ahead and select your ellipse tool. When you hold down the shift key on the ellipse tool, you get a circle. And there it is. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a triangle. And so you might be thinking I have to get my pen tool and click, 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 which is one way to draw a triangle, but I'm going to show you 2 different ways to draw a triangle. So right click on that shape and grab your polygon tool, and hopefully your keyboard is working properly. I know mine was giving me some trouble. I'm going to hold down, I have my polygon tool selected. I'm going to hold down my shift key and drag and right click and change the number of sides to 3. 3. By the way, if you have 20 sides on your polygon tool, you get a circle. So we want that triangle right there. Let's get rid of that. Let me show you that again. I'm over here. Remember that little drop down arrow lets you know that there's other tools hiding behind it. I selected my polygon tool. I held down my shift. You've got to hold down the shift key. Drag your shape. You are probably not going to get a triangle. You're going to get a polygon. But when you drag your shape and you right click, my keyboard is really slow, you should right click, and you don't want that box, but you want it selected. You want to right click. I know it's really annoying when your computer doesn't want to cooperate with you. Hold on a minute. Select that, shift, right click. There we go. Oh, yeah. And let's put in 6 sides. Let's make a hexagon. And if I do that, I get a hexagon with 6 sides. But I don't want that. I want a triangle. So, if you have trouble with that, call me over. There's another way to make a triangle, and that is grab your star tool and create your star tool. Again, I had changed it. So, all right. So I'm going to drag out your star tool. You should have a star, not a triangle. Right click, and let's tell it to have 20 sides. Let's see what kind of star we get. Woo! Look at that. That would be fun in an ad if you're making an advertisement. So we don't really want that tool right now though, but that's another thing you can do with your star tool. So let's drag out our 20-point star and let's change the number of points on that. So let's right click, wait for that box to come up. Let's tell it we want 3 points. But you have to take your hand off the shift key, so otherwise you're going to get the pound sign. And there you got a triangle. So those are 2 other ways to make a triangle. Okay, I have another way of making a triangle, and here we go with the other way. So here's the third way of making a triangle. Let's get the rectangle tool. Hold down your shift key, draw a square. Okay, now go up to your pen tool and make sure delete anchor point tool is selected, right? So here we are. Right clicking that little arrow, getting the drop down box, delete anchor point tool. Let's delete one of those points, and now you have another way of making a really cool triangle. And then if you wanted to change that around and rotate it, you can just get your black arrow tool, your selection tool, right? And make sure you've got that curved arrow, and you're going to turn it around, and you can get your rectangle, your triangle that way, right? So 3 different ways to make a triangle: with your rectangular tool, with your star tool, and with your polygon tool. But this one is just fine for right now because we only want to work with a circle, a triangle, and a square. Go back to your tool, your triangle tool, right click, grab the triangle, hold down your shift key to get a square. And there it is. Okay? And that's what you've got so far. 3 basic shapes in Illustrator. You can modify these shapes, and we're going to do that in just a minute, and get all kinds of really cool ideas for creating your logo. There is another way of creating a logo as well without shapes, and that would be to take a photograph of yourself and go ahead and load it to Illustrator and use what you learned in the line assignment with those vector lines to make a caricature or a cartoon image of yourself. And that's another thing that you can do. However, that is a little tricky. We're actually going to do an assignment like that when we get into Photoshop, so you might want to hold off on that and just use some shapes to create a cute logo for yourself. Okay, so we are going to create one more layer, and so the first thing you want to do is, let me get my black selection tool, okay, and I want to make sure that these are all lined up, and I'm kind of minding the negative space in between these shapes, and kind of evening that out a little bit, right? So you always want to be thinking about, how am I placing things on my artboard, okay? And if you're having a difficult time for some reason getting them lined up, you could go to Window and Rulers or Guidelines. Let's find our guidelines. It's in View, actually. It's in View. So let's look at that. We want to go to Guides, okay? And our Smart Guides should be showing. Let's show our ruler. And that's one of the things you can do. So let's show our ruler. So let's show rulers, okay? Make sure, go to View, show your rulers, and show your Smart Guides. So Rulers and Smart Guides. Rulers and Smart Guides. If you want to hide your ruler again, you just have to hold your mouse over it, and then you're going to go Hide Rulers. But right now, we want to go Rulers and Smart Guides under View. Okay? And then you should see a ruler up here on both sides, and then when you grab, here, you should be able to pull down a little Smart Guide, and it'll help you line everything up. It's a little challenging because you have that circle, so if you just hit the bottom of the circle, that's one of your Smart Guides, and then just go back up to your ruler, drag out another Smart Guide, and just make sure your rectangle and your triangle are lined up. So you should have 2 little Smart Guides there. And once you've got those all lined up, in case you couldn't do that without them, that's great. But now we want to get rid of them. So we're going to go back to View, and we're going to uncheck Smart Guides and View, and we're going to go, we should actually we want to hide them. So let's hide rulers and view, and where are those smart guides? We want to hide those smart guides. Clear guides. So clear our guides, right? So we don't want to see the guides right now. Okay, so we have these nicely lined up at the top of our page. Yours should look just like this. And next thing we're going to go is go new layer, and we want, we're just going to call it background. And what you want to do is you want to actually drag that background layer. So right here you're going to grab it and drag it under your layer 1. And then you're going to select any color that you like. I'm going to pick this yellow color, and I'm going to go ahead and get my rectangular tool, and I'm going to draw a box right here. And then the color I picked, the opacity is too bright, so I want to change the opacity to maybe, I don't know, let's see, still too bright. I want it light. Yeah, I like that. Let me a little less. Yeah, like right there, about 38%. And so now I changed the opacity of my background color. Cancel that, I don't want that. Okay. And so yours should look exactly like this. You had your background layer, your layer 1 with your 3 shapes, and any colors that you chose for those shapes. Okay, so I decided that this is going to be the end of part 1 of your basic shapes, and in part 2 we're going to go ahead and we're going to start modifying those shapes. So just go ahead and practice with this, and then we'll go ahead and modify some shapes so you can start playing around with your own logos.